Okay, let's climb aboard our passenger coach. All aboard! We're starting our journey through the red rocks and the desert with the mountains in the background. And as we progress through the Superstition Mountain Railroad, keep an eye out for the many details along the tracks. We're starting our tour through a tunnel, after which we'll be crossing a double trestle bridge. After that bridge, look out in the distance and you'll see the namesake, Superstition Mountain. Oh, there's a logging train. Let's slow down and watch it as we pass. The logging train is passing right underneath the 3D mural of Superstition Mountain. Okay, as we start our tour, I'd like to give you a little story. The history of the Superstition Mountain Railroad begins in the early 1930s. The Denver Rio Grande laid its narrow gauge and mainland track as far as Durango, Colorado, and was looking for a small branch line to feed freight and passenger traffic from the areas of the Southern Rockies. At that time, the SMR had only a few miles of narrow gauge track running from its terminus at the town of Eagle Ridge to the mining town of Superstition Springs, located in the foothills to the north. At the same time, a contract had been signed by the SMR to provide rail service to the logging operation at Timberline and connecting to the mill at Pinecrest. As the ore and logging industries flourished, the town grew rapidly, and the demand for rail service connections to the Rio Grande offered a profitable expansion. The decision was made by the SMR to enter an interchange agreement with the Denver Rio Grande. The Rio Grande would have rights to the SMR narrow gauge terminal at Eagle Ridge, and the SMR would feed traffic from the towns it served using primarily rolling stock with the D and RGW logo. In addition, the D and RGW sold several freight cars to the SMR, and due to the cost of repainting the cars, retained their D and RGW livery with SMR numbering and data added to the cars. Business flourished for the SMR, and it continued to add locomotive and rolling stock to meet the demand. The SMR bought several trains from other railroads and kept their liveries as well. Passenger service was introduced in the mid-1930s and soon expanded to include Timberline, Pinecrest, and Superstition Springs. The Superstition Mountain Railroad operated profitably until the late 1940s, when it was sold eventually to the Rio Grande. They operated the line for 10 more years and eventually sold the assets and abandoned the line in the late 50s. In its short 25-year existence, the SMR added a great deal of character to the narrow gauge, rugged railroads of the Colorado Rockies. We're going through another bridge, trestle bridge, and it comes out at the base of that three-dimensional Superstition Mountain mural. Here we pass a water tank which supplies the needed fuel for these steam engines. And now we leave the desert, going past one more entrance through the rocks, and we start a greener, more vegetated parts of the Superstition Mountain Railroad. Here we find green trees and green vegetation. After we pass a high trestle bridge, keep an eye out on the left for that cement pond that's adjacent to the layout. We're chugging our way up that big trestle bridge. And now as we crest the top, off to the left, we see green, rolling hills. One more trestle bridge. Now we're back to that bend that takes us back into the desert part of the layout. We're roaring down the hill now, through the opening in the rocks, and once again, we're at the base of Superstition Mountain. We're coming up on a double trestle bridge, and there's another logging train passing below us. Chugging its way to the mill, Pinecrest. Okay, we're coming to the end of our long loop of the Superstition Mountain Railroad. We hope you have enjoyed your journey, and we hope that you check the website superstitionmountainrailroad.com for latest photos, videos, and events put on by Brian Davis. Thank you very much for visiting us today. We hope to see you back again at another trip on the Superstition Mountain Railroad. Bye-bye.